Hello guys, I'm Nick and welcome to this new video. Now, today's video is going to be about ranking the op skins in CSGO. I've seen Don Hachi doing this on Twitter. He caught quite the flack from the community, so I thought why shouldn't I stir up some drama and give you my opinion on the various different ops. I'm doing this on tier maker, but of course I'm gonna be showing you as well the skins in game so you can get a panoramic as to how they look. And yeah, I've divided it into these categories. We have legendary, S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and dog ass. Dog ass tier is I'd rather play with the default op skin or with a safari mesh. The first op we're gonna be taking a look at is the op Acheron, and this for me it goes straight into S tier. It's an amazing looking op in my opinion, and with a nice sticker on the scope it really complements it well. It goes straight to S tier also because of the price. It's around €4 for a factory new version on the Steam market, so yeah, you cannot go wrong with an op Acheron. And another op that you cannot go wrong with is the op Aferis. This, for me, goes straight into the legendary category. It's a super cheap op that you can get, but it adds so much value to your inventory. It's an absolutely amazing skin. You can get it both in an amazing factory new condition, and it looks absolutely cool, or you can get it in super battle scars, so your gun is completely grey and there's only the green snake. We then have the op Boom, which is quite the old skin, and it's exactly because it's old that it's why I'm putting it onto A tier. Now, if you would have asked me this exact same tier but a couple of years ago without some of these beautiful skins in game, I probably would have bumped it up to S tier, but unfortunately for me personally it kinda has lost its mojo and its touch. I used to have one with an LDLC holo from Kato 2014, which I unfortunately sold for like a mega loss because I'm stupid, but yeah, that used to be a beautiful op that's kinda now fallen down onto the tier list. We then have the blue op, the Corticera, and this one, disappointingly, it will go into dog ass tier. I hate how it looks. I hate the combination of the blue, the yellow, and the green. I don't think this op adds any value, and I'd rather play with a safari mesh than this one. Next up, we have the op Dragonlore, and obviously the op Dragonlore is gonna go ahead straight into the legendary tier. It looks absolutely amazing. It's a very intricate op. Again, it has this theme with the snake, and I have to say it needs to be on legendary tier just because of the status that the skin has. We then have the op Electric Hive, again quite an old op, I think it's the same age-ish as the Boom, but this one still hasn't lost its touch for me, and it's gonna go ahead up to S tier. It's starting to get a little bit expensive, but still you can get it in a really nice condition, maybe with a full blue pattern and some nice stickers that go really well with it. We then have the king of the cheap ops in my opinion. I see it continuously in game being used, and that's the op Elite build, and this one is gonna go to B tier in my opinion. It's not as good, for example, as an op Boom, but I wouldn't put it down lower in the list. It's still a really solid op, and the addition of the yellow on the gun, you can craft it with some really nice Navi stickers. And now for the first addition to the C tier, we have the op Fever Dream. I personally don't really like this op. I started disliking it ever since it came out, unfortunately, and I honestly thought, well, it's gonna grow on me, it's gonna get better, but unfortunately the skin has this like weird greenish background, it's not completely black, and that kind of kills the vibe for me, and that's why it's gonna go down to C tier. I know people who love this op, they love especially the intricate design on the scope, but unfortunately it's just not for me. We then have the op Azimuth. This one goes straight into legendary tier. Again, another like absolutely legendary skin. It's a great looking gun. You can get it in super battle scar. You can make a Black Imov op with the black scope. Next up on the list we have the op Graphite, and this gets straight into legendary tier. It's a super old op. I might be mistaken, this is from the Bravo case, and like you need 10 of these to craft a Fire Serpent, which is absolutely insane, and this has gotten quite a lot up in price. I remember when this used to be €40. I used to have one with 100 Thieves from like Boston 2018 if I'm not mistaken, and now it's like €130 on buff. I'm not really sure about the Steam market price, but still a absolutely very nice op. It's the only op that's completely black, so you can craft basically whatever you want with it. And yeah, it's a crafter's dream. It's like the AK Slate but with ops, and it's going up and up and up in price. We then have another really historical op, which is the op Hyper Beast. I would put it into legendary again because of its status, but I'm not really seeing it used in game lately, so I'm gonna bump it down onto the S tier. S tier, remember guys, it's a really good tier. Like these are still super valid op. I'd put the cutoff under B tier as to what I wouldn't personally buy, but the Hyper Beast still, it might be seen as a legendary skin, but I personally think it's lost again a little bit of its mojo. Then we get onto my favorite personal op skin, which is the op Lightning Strike, straight into legendary tier. It's the first red that we've ever had in CSGO, it's the first op that we have ever had in CSGO, and I just love how it looks. I've always loved it. I managed always to have a Lightning Strike in my inventory. I'm missing one right now. The prices for these have absolutely taken off. Next up we have the op Manowar. Quite a weird combination for me, this deep navy blue with the gold. It can work with a lot of gold and stickers, especially if you put them in the center, and this one is going straight to S tier in my opinion. It's not enough to be legendary, but it has enough of a mojo to go ahead with the big boys in S tier. We then have the op Medusa, another op I used to drool over back in the days. It's from the Gods and Monster collection, which is quite an old collection, and you need to craft like 10 Poseidons to get one of these. It looks amazing, and the more battle scarred it gets, the greener it gets, so you have an incentive actually to go for a battle scarred one. Now that I'm seeing the legendary lineup, I'm kind of intent of taking the Afiris a step down into S tier, because it doesn't really belong up here because it's just so common. I could make the same argument for the op Asimov, but I see it way less in game, so I'm just gonna bump down the Afiris. In my heart, the Afiris is legendary, but my brain is telling me that it's S tier. Then we have the op Mortis, which is this brown op. When it came out, I wasn't really sure about it, and it still hasn't grown on me. The graphics, the design on it is quite cool, but still not enough to get me excited, so this one is getting straight to C tier. We then have the op Neo Noir, part of the Neo Noir collection, and I love the design on it. I love, for example, the whole white barrel, and I've seen a lot of people use it in game, so for me, this one is going onto the A tier next to the op Boom. Next up, we have the op Onitaji. This op, again, I don't know how, I don't know why, skyrocketed in price from the olden days. A factory new one will cost you 530 euros. It's absolutely insane. This op, for me, goes straight to the S tier. It's not a legendary op, it's not something that like you see in game and you're like, what the hell? We then have the op Paw. And I initially really loved this op. When it came out, it has a lot of different patterns. You can do nice sticker crafts on the scope, with the scope being black, but it kinda slowed down on me and I started not really liking it that much, so it goes on to B tier for me. Another super cheap option for your average matchmaking person is the op Phobos. I see it all the time in game, and I kind of like it, but it's between a B and a C. But since the design is kind of cool looking and innovative, I'll just put it into the B tier. We then have the op Pink Didipat. Used to have one of these in souvenirs. These ones, they look absolutely amazing. I love the super battle scarred version. It's completely black basically, and you can do all types of sticker crafts on it, and this for me goes on to A tier. We then have the op Pit Viper, which is this just green op that looks like this skin of a snake basically, and this goes straight into dog ass tier. Absolutely hate it. Next up, op Redline, a beloved op from the CSGO community. I can put it only in S tier. It cannot go up to legendary, it's not rare enough, it's not cool enough to go up to legendary, but there's a lot of cool sticker crafts with this that you can do. Kato 14, Dreamhack 14. Next up we have a bit of a fan favorite, it's the Op Safari Mesh, and if you remember at the start of the video I said that I'd rather play with a Safari Mesh than with a lot of this stuff. The Safari Mesh goes into B tier for me. It's obviously a classic op, and I always have a Safari Mesh in my storage unit just to be sure that in case I sell all of my ops, I still have my backup option, so I don't need to play with the default one. I have some nice stickers on mine, you might have seen it in a couple of videos ago, and actually, little secret, I used to own a Safari Mesh field tested with a crown on the scope, and also a Safari Mesh I think well worn with an I by Power paper from Katowice 2014 on the scope. I both traded them away to a friend, and I think I sold them to him for like 30 euros, which was like totally not enough as to what they're worth as of today. And sometimes I will need to go back onto those trades, and if I have time I'll actually post those trades on screen so you can see that I'm not bullshitting you. Next up we have the Op Snake Camo, and this op is inexplicably really expensive because it is from the Dust Collection, and 10 of these they should get you a Desert Eagle Blaze if I'm not mistaken. So for the factory new version you're looking at 390 euros. Now I don't see any difference between the Snake Camo and the Safari Mesh, so I'd rather play with a Safari Mesh. Snake Camo goes into dog ass because it's expensive for shit, it's expensive for nothing. Another op joining the dog ass tier is the op Sun in Leo. I absolutely hate how it looks, I don't like the blue on it, I don't like the inscriptions on it. When I see it in game I want to puke. And again, joining the dog ass tier we have the Op Wormgod, a beloved skin from the cheap skins community, the people who want to not pay a lot for their op. I guess the design is cool, but the yellow of the snakes, I am not digging it. It's not snakes, it's the yellow of the, I don't know, dust or whatever it is. I don't dig it, I don't dig the design of the skull. This is just a really cheap op that doesn't impress anyone. You can rather get, for example, a Safari Mesh with a nice Kato sticker for like 5-10 euros, and that would be way better. We have then the Op Containment Breach, which is pretty nice because it's an all green op and I like this green neon design, and this goes, it's between an S tier and an A tier. I'll just put it in A because I think some things could have been done better. No, actually I'll put it in S tier. The Gungnir is just a new skin, it looks absolutely amazing. I might even say for some people, like a lot of the CS community, this is the best looking op, and so this obviously goes into legendary. And for me personally, same goes with the Prince. Okay, we then have the Op Wildfire, and the Op Wildfire, it's an amazing design that goes straight into S tier in my opinion. I have an Op Wildfire, I've played a lot with an Op Wildfire, it's quite also cheap, you can get a field tested, I think for around 40 euros if I'm not mistaken, which makes it a really good value for money. We then have another Op that goes straight into the dog ass category, no like discussing about it, that there's like nothing I can say of good about this Op Capillary. It's cheap, it's like useless, it doesn't show off in game, just dog ass tier. And another op that I fucking hate when I see it in game is the exoskeleton. Some people say like, oh, it gets like darker when it's more battle scarred, it's cool, etc. There are the engravings. I just don't like the bones how they're being put, and the only thing I can say that's good about it is the fact that it uses normal mapping, so it kind of looks 3D-ish, but still it's nothing that I would personally buy. Now, for one of my most controversial opinions, there's the Op Fade. A lot of people have been begging Valve to put an Op Fade in game. It's just too big of a pattern to fit nicely on an Op, so this one, in my opinion, goes to B tier. It's not something that I would buy, it's very pricey, and there are a lot of better alternatives around that price point. We then have the Op Silk Tiger, and this goes up into A tier. it's better than the AWP fade for sure, and this is gonna anger like a lot of people probably. You can type your anger down in the comments, you can make your own tier list in the comments and tell me what you think about it. And to me the Seal Tiger looks a little bit more decent. I really am in love with the blue of the background, so yeah, the Seal Tiger gets the A tier. We then have a AWP that I've seen a lot in game lately, and I don't know why, because it's a super expensive AWP. We're talking about like 1,500 euros for this AWP, and it is the AWP Desert Hydra. I think this has not yet earned its legendary status, but probably if you ask me in like, let's say a year or so, this is gonna go up to the legendary status just because it's so expensive and so desirable. And the more battle scarred it gets, the blacker it gets, so it's like what the Asimov does. And so if you want to have the complete collection, you have a super factory new one that has the complete barrel in white, and a super battle scarred one that has the barrel and the scope completely in black. S tier for now, might go up into legendary in the future. We're down to the final two AWPs. The first one is the AWP Pop AWP, and yeah, this skin is weird. The first time I saw it, I wasn't really sure about it, but again, it started to grow on me, so I think this is a really nice option if you're on a budget. Like if you want an AWP for under 5 euros, this could be it for you. It's 4 euros on the Steam market for a factory new version. You can put some nice stickers on it, so I think this actually goes above the AWP Fade for me. And finally, we have the AWP Chromatic Aberration, which is the newly added AWP in the game. It came out like a month ago from the latest Recoil case, and well, I kinda jumped on the bandwagon with this one. I've done a case rate video that you should definitely check out to hear my opinions on the new case and on the new skins. And after doing that video, I think like after 30 minutes of publishing it, I actually went on the market and I sniped for 50 euros a 0.015 field tested one, so I got it for way under like its normal price, or as it was back then, and I got a really good float. So this one, to me, it can't go into legendary, but it fits really well into S tier, and yeah, that's where it probably belongs. Unfortunately, it doesn't change color, etc., but you can do a lot with stickers for this AWP. As you can see, there's mine on the screen with this flow sticker, and in my opinion, it looks really nice and it looks really interesting, so it definitely deserves its S tier. And so guys, this is my tier list. This is how it looks. I probably have upset a lot of people. I probably made happy some other people, but I'm guessing I made more people upset than happy. Please let me know what you think about it in the video description. I hella wanna know what you think. What are the AWPs that you would put and where would you put them? Feel free to link in the description images, for example, of your tier list, why you put which AWP where, and yeah, let's kind of build a discussion on this, and maybe we could get going and start doing it also for other types of skins, for example AKs, etc., and complete the whole circle with M4s. So I thank you all for watching, and remember guys, good luck and have fun.